Stargirl Season 2, Episode 12. This is the penultimate episode, which in some cases, this would be the big climactic battle that we've been gearing towards all season. However, this isn't. This episode is actually, it feels like filler, and I know that sucks to say because it's the second to last episode of a season, but they really just dragged it out a bit, I gotta say. Like, there's certain things in this one where I feel like, okay, we have to keep our budget small. Nobody really suits up. Nobody really does any special effects stuff. Like, we have a whole thing with, like, the Thunderbolt, but we don't see him. We just talk about Thunderbolt. Basically, this had to happen so we can get the big climactic battle that will be coming next episode. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. I just think, like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing here. I'm seeing the cracks in the CW format. And, you know, CW's been under some scrutiny lately. I'm probably not going to get into it a little bit, but I just want to say I hope everybody who's involved in the production of those shows feels safe and like they are being properly paid. You know, just like hopefully you're doing okay. If you have problems, you should tell people. That's all I'm going to say on that. But yeah, Stargirl. This episode is all about we have to find Eclipso. We're going to get our Dr. Midnights on that. By the way, I love that moment when everyone comes back to the Whitmore and Dugan house and the Dr. Midnight see each other. It's just cute. You know, Bess finally has somebody who she can relate to. I like that they went all out on this socially distanted, weird Dr. McNighter because he is awkward. This guy doesn't look like he's cool to hang out with. He doesn't give off the impression you want to spend time with him. And I like that there's comparisons that you could easily make to Dr. Midnight being the Daredevil analog because they both have like poor eyesight and that kind of stuff. I think it works too just because there's something off about the way they act around people where Matt is just a little more personable, but Chuck just gives off this awkward vibe like I want to be anywhere else but here. I think that's kind of interesting. So I like their connection. They decide if we use all our power, we can triangulate exactly where Eclipso is. But if we team up, we can make it in half the time. And I'm like, that's fun. Get them to do something. Again, they're the tech side of things. You're not going to have them any action sequences. Are we going to see the owl? I don't know. I kind of hope we see the owl. Did we see the owl in season 1 in like a glass case? I kind of feel like we did, but now I can't remember. So this entire episode is like, let's get more manpower to solve the problem. Cindy's going to work with us. That's great. But the rest of our team's like, we have to go find those who can help us. So we kind of break off into our own side stories. Courtney wants to go get Yolanda to help out, but she's very reluctant to do so. When she finds out that Courtney is working with Cindy, it's like, really? This girl tried to kill us. Why would you want to work with her? I'm still mixed on the Yolanda storyline. I think Event Montreal does a good job. She makes it work. But the Yolanda stuff, I'm like, it's just so easy. It's just not much substance there. She killed somebody. She feels guilt. We have explored that topic countless times. And doing it in this storyline just doesn't have the added impact that I think it wants to go for. It just feels easy. And that kind of sucks. So after we see that Cindy was spying on the two of them, she goes to visit Yolanda and it's like, you shouldn't help out. You know, these people are weak and you're weak. So I'm going to do the thing and I'm going to kill Eclipso, but you're too weak to do this. And I don't want to see you get killed because you suck at being a good superhero. And that pushes Yolanda over the edge where she's coming back as Wildcat to help out the team. Again, it's very easy. That's kind of the point of this character and this story where it's just like, we got to rally the troops back together. Not a lot to it, but I got to say, it works. I mean, it's something for Yvette to do. She's been out of the past couple episodes. I wonder if they wrote that. Was she filming something else in that time where they're just like, maybe we have too many cooks in this kitchen and we need to sideline some people so it's not like a main character every episode? Maybe, because if this sticks true to form, I don't think Chuck will stick around, but if some of these other characters, if Jenny sticks around, if Cindy sticks around, if Jakeem sticks around, that's a lot of extra characters as main players in here. And that could get kind of crowded, so maybe if that was just like, yeah, I'll take the L on this one. I'll take the smaller paycheck, but who knows? So she's coming back. She's going to soup as Wildcat, mainly because she doesn't want to see Cindy betray these people. She's still not, like, getting friendly with Courtney. They're still on the rough there. I'm like, yeah, okay. I see what you're doing. There's something about Courtney I do want to come back to at the end of the episode because it kind of ties it all together. Yolanda's back. Pat's going to go get Rick. He actually goes to talk to Rick's uncle. He's still in the hospital, broken up, but he's just trying to convince his uncle, like, come on. The kid messed up, and something like this could seriously ruin his life before it even gets started. The uncle says, go to hell. And then we get a really great scene where Luke Wilson just pretends he's a tough guy, closes the blinds, shuts off the lights, and literally threatens the uncle, just like, when I was in the army, we had a thing for guys like you. And I'm just like, that's cool. You literally don't have to show us what he's going to do, because nothing he could do would be as scary as the threat of just like Pat going that far. Because we've seen Pat literally do nothing. And we know he's not a killer. He's not going to harm this guy. So the fact that he can intimidate him like that, I think is very impressive. And just, it's so fun. I really think Luke is one of the best actors on this show. He's just so strong and capable, and it works really well. So when you just like, yeah, let him have some fun. Pretend he's being an intense guy when we don't buy it. I think that works really well. So he does manage to talk the uncle to dropping the charges against Rick, and Rick is able to come out of prison pretty easily. That's kind of all we get of Rick in this episode, which, yeah, okay, I get you. Again, we have a lot of people in the supporting roles now. That's kind of hard to focus on at all. And then Mike. Again, I'm a big fan of Mike. He's one of my favorite characters on the show. He wants to go hunt lightning, so he's going to go try to find Thunderbolt. Eventually, he realizes, oh, I think Jakeem has it. Now, we had Jakeem teased in an earlier episode. He didn't really do much. And I'll be honest, I'm not well-versed enough in Jakeem to really know how he's supposed to act. They're really going for something here, and I think what they're going for is like the world thinks Mike and Jakeem are kind of lame. He's kind of like a goofy kid. He's kind of nerdy and quirky in that way. And he's just like, I was just hungry. I asked for a big burger, not one the size of like a house. And then I said, I want Chinese food. Thunderbolt just went to get Chinese food. We worked around not having to show the Thunderbolt because we'll probably see it in the finale. I'd have to imagine we'll see it there, which I get it's just fine. So Mike just lays it on thick. He's like, yeah, the world's ending. Eclipso's going to kill us all. That Thunderbolt you have there as part of the JSA, you have to come with me to save the world. Jakeem's like, okay, let's do it. But before they can go to fix that, they have to go wash some dishes because it's Jakeem's night to wash the dishes. Cool. Like, that's fine. Again, I don't know if that's how Jakeem should behave, but I think it works. I think for what this show created, him and Mike are going to have a chemistry of just, like, being these weird, friendly guys now. I think that's kind of cool. Mike even admits, like, I was, like, saying I wish it went to somebody better. I guess it could be you because you're, like, faster with delivering paper and you're so organized, and I think that's kind of cool. So I like it. If they're going to be, like, the two guys with the Thunderbolt, that's kind of cool. I think that works well enough until Mike kind of, like, pilots Stripe, which I think is what we're going to get to eventually. That works for his character. Having that storyline actually is pretty interesting. So Jenny also plays a big role in this episode because we don't have enough characters doing enough stuff in here. Jenny kind of like absorbed a part of like the dark matter from Eclipso's residue when he sucked Cindy into the thing. Makes her sick, and basically she thinks she killed it, but it's just like affecting her body, and she has like these weird visions of like all of her friends dying and everybody kind of going dark. Now again, I think we're going to see her have a connection because of this darkness she has influenced, including like the Shade and now Eclipso. That's going to connect it to her story with her brother, and I think we will see a tease of Todd at the end of this season. I'm just like, this is a lot of stuff going on in this episode, but it's also not, because it's just like building the climactic ending, and it's just like we're raising the stakes, we're getting the tension built here without actually showing you the tension we're building, which is kind of lazy, but I can't hate him for that because I'd have to do the same thing. It makes sense. And Jenny is just like kind of sick, and she kind of like she's just in bed half the episode and she's feeling ill, and then all of a sudden she has these visions, and I'm just like, okay, I see what you're going for here with Jenny. Now, I don't think she's going to be sticking around next season. Have they confirmed if there's going to be any series regulars next season? I know we're seeing Joel McHale get bumped up. Is anybody else going to get bumped up? I don't know. I think it's just kind of interesting. So, Dr. McNider theorizes that the light coming from the cosmic staff is going to be what kills Eclipso. So, that leads to this thing where Eclipso's big plan, because he reveals it to the Dr. Midnights, is that I'm going to take the light and the pureness out of Courtney Whitmore. And I'm just like, out of every character in the universe, and I know why it's Courtney, it's her show. Every character in this universe, you think the one who's the lightest is Courtney? I really don't think so, because half this season we have spent with Courtney being downtrodden, heartbroken, angry. Her light is very faded. It might be because she was able to escape the Shadowland. Who knows? But I would say it's Beth who has the most positivity and light. She is the one who literally overcame Eclipso's grasp from the beginning. She's the most capable one in that situation. I think that's going to play a factor into something with later. But Eclipso's big plan is if he takes the light out of Courtney Whitmore, that's going to be enough to be unstoppable. Is it? I don't know if it would be, because again, Courtney doesn't seem like she's that full of light. She's had a lot of moments where she has struggled with that light throughout the show, but I still don't think it'd be her. I just don't think I can buy the situation where Courtney is the one who sets everything off. It's her show, so of course it's going to be her, but doesn't seem likely to me, which kind of sucks. But hey, who knows? It's her show, for crying out loud, so of course it is. And that's where it kind of ends. We get the big reveal that Eclipso wants to corrupt Courtney. We get the tease for that next week. And I'm sure next week is going to be an action-packed episode, because this one, while slow, while it builds tension, it was still fun. But I was like, this is kind of one of the weaker ones of the show, which kind of sucks because it's the penultimate. I hate when that happens, but that's just standard sometimes. You know, not every episode's going to be great. You got to take it or leave it. And the good outweighs the bad in a lot of this show. And I'm starting to feel like there's too many characters. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we get one more season of Stargirl and they rebrand it as the Justice Society. I think that's a way better thing to do, because you're spending an awful lot of time under the banner of Stargirl and it doesn't really feel like a Stargirl show anymore. Just saying, think about that for your next couple of seasons. So that is going to do it for my review of Stargirl episode 12 in its second season. Now, thank you guys so much for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.